There has been such an attack, state by state on the ground when it comes to voting rights. 63, they were marching for voting rights. We're seeing the rollback of so much. I've been asking people, today we march, but tomorrow on Monday, what is it that the Lawyers Committee is going to do, or I would say continue to do, because you all have been covering, really been on the front line?
Well, the Lawyers Committee, we're clear that it's not just a vote. It's about the voice and the vitality of black people in all communities of color. Anyone who they're trying to disenfranchise, it means they're scared of us. They're scared of our collective power. So what we do at the Lawyers Committee is we have filed more voting rights lawsuits than any other organization in the country, more than even the Department of Justice in the last decade. We also convened the National Election Protection Coalition. It's the nation's oldest and biggest nonpartisan voter protection effort. The hotline number is 866-OUR-VOTE. Any day of the year, election season or not, voters can call to get information and also to report disinformation or even voter intimidation, which has been on the rise.
Are there any tactics that you are starting to see that we may not have seen before as we get closer and closer to this election that you want people to know what's about to come and hit their neighborhoods?
We have to watch out for disinformation, especially the way it's weaponized and amplified by artificial intelligence. In the 2020 election cycle, we had to file a lawsuit to stop these arch-conservatives from sending 85,000 robocalls to black voters that said if you vote by mail, the information will be used against you to collect outstanding debts, to execute outstanding warrants by the police, and to force mandatory vaccinations. That is disinformation. We sued them, we won in court, and they've also been prosecuted. We expect those kinds of efforts, however, to be amplified and powered by online power and AI this cycle. You may not know if it's a black woman, a black man, a white person, or anybody behind the scenes with these deep fakes and this disinformation that's been weaponized.
Lastly, when we look at what's happening in the courtrooms with former President Donald Trump and his 18 co-conspirators, there was a Pew Research, or there was a study that came out, not Pew, but it talked about his base, even now, trusts him more than they do their community leaders and their religious leaders, almost saying that he is their God. What is the hope that you have in this upcoming election?
Well, the hope that I have is that even people who have been lost and lost their way will somehow find their way. If you actually care about this country, if you care about democracy, if you care about your neighbor and see the humanity, I hope that people can see their humanity in mine, even if they don't look like me, don't have my frame, aren't from where I'm from. That's the hope that we have. But the other hope is that we've got more. And I don't mean in a partisan electoral way. I mean, we've got more in terms of people of conscience. We just have to get our people the right information and the ability to mobilize and allow their voices to be heard and their votes to be counted.
I lied. I had one more question. Have you all had any type of meeting with any Republican leaders, congressional members? Like, I know we sometimes work in silos, but how has that been, reaching across the aisle?
Reaching across the aisle is tough, but it's part of what we do as a nonpartisan organization. Last Congress, we met with Senator Joe Manchin, who is always on the fence about many of our issues, quite frankly. We also met with a baker's dozen, 13 Republican senators, and looked them in the eye and asked them to get aboard with the cause of civil rights and voting rights. Many of them voted for the Voting Rights Act last time it was reauthorized, but now they're letting their personal politics and their party being captured by Trump get in the way. We are not calling them out, we're calling them in. We're saying, vote your own truth in Congress. Vote your own truth and take actions that you know are right, and time will tell and history will judge them for what they do or don't do.
Thank you so much for the work that you do.